Yeah,
like
I
we,
got him.
yeah. Oh god, you bring him in. Like we've been very critical, Rick B, about this show when we've had to be. We're very fair, but we say how we feel, and I think we're all pretty high on this one for sure. Hello, Jefferson.
Hey guys, how you doing?
I'm
Doing
fine, thank
great.
you. How are you?
Welcome to the
Good, good.
stream.
Oh man, we got belted with snow earlier this week. It's ridiculous. Cheetah, I don't know about you, but in Cincinnati, we got hit pretty hard.
Oh yeah, I'm buried up here.
You being on the lake and all that? Ridiculous. I can't imagine.
Yep. No, we're buried up here. I think we got at least 12 inches, which to Zam sounds like a good time. So
Jesus, Cheeto.
Well, I'm
Can't
sorry, a
take him
little late.
anywhere.
I had to drop off the kids, and I wanted to hurry and get back because I really wanted to talk about this episode. So I'll just
Oh, you're gonna mute.
jump in
You're
wherever
gonna
you
mute.
guys are. I don't want to backtrack anybody.
oh, you're
No,
No,
we're just
it's a
giving our
perfect
initial
time to
thoughts.
get your initial thoughts from you.
Okay, man, they are crushing it with this show. I mean, it's like just crushing it. There's it was again where they chose to go with the story was like, wow, okay, that's good. That they did something different with the state of the Klingons and their culture. I think it was time now. Now that I think about it, we thought that it was a really ballsy move to destroy Romulus and Remus. In the prime timeline, and we saw the ramifications of that in in Picard and in Discovery. So now to see what happened to the Klingons, it's like, you know what? I can get on board with this. It's
it gave
a
me
damn shame, but
it gave me Star Trek 6 vibes, like with
Yeah.
practice exploding and everything. Like I really like that's what I was saying earlier. I was hinting at earlier when we were kind of giving our overall thoughts is like, it gave me Star Trek 6 vibes where it's like, yeah, the Klingon Empire basically mined themselves into oblivion in 6 with Praxis. Now, I mean, they were, all their dilithium, was it their mines or was it just their reactors on their planet?
It was reactors, and here's the thing that I thought was, in my opinion, I think it was kind of stupid to do this. So the dilithium itself is not combustible or explosive. The dilithium, like, say it's right here, it sits in the warp core. You have your matter is coming down, antimatter going up. They don't touch, but the dilithium is what regulates that like, it facilitates that power between the two. And so then in the burn, when the dilithium went inert, suddenly you've got that matter and antimatter touch. That's bad. And the thing that I was kind of shocked was thinking, all right, it's a great power source, sure, but I kind of question the logic behind using it to scale in regards to planetary reactors, because I don't know. I'm sure the same could be said about us using, having nuclear reactors, but it seems to me that doesn't seem as bad of an idea as it is to do dilithium reactors. Like,
Yeah, the Klingons were never that smart.
That's true, because to me, I think that the potential explosion output for matter and antimatter is exponentially more than nuclear reaction, no matter what the amount is. So, I would think that, yeah, that was, who the hell's idea was that? Because, yeah, that baby went inert, all the dilithium, and their whole planet gone, billions gone.
Indeed. So with that all being said, we've got it kind of broke up into kind of 3 parts to me. We've got the entire Jaden backstory segment. We have the parts about the debate itself, and we've got the plot line with Fawn Alpha with Captain Ake and Oleb. I thought we'd just start with the debate, which its plotline starts with a reference to the drumhead. Absolutely, there is more boo.
There's plenty.
So they give the quote from the judge that was referenced in the drumhead, the episode with the witch hunt from Next Generation. Classic episode. So they make a nod to it with the quote that begins with the first link the chain is forged. They're going to have, as I said, a debate competition with the doctor in charge, and he does an impromptu pop quiz style practice session where Caleb Meir dominates.
But surprisingly to the doctor, who
very surprised.
Yeah.
It was nice to hear that quote again, and it's okay. I'm not going into politics. Never mind.
No,
it's topical.
This comment here is so stupid. Like, no.
It's the most misunderstood quoted lines from Star Trek that I've ever seen done by the right wing. It's like that is their epitaph for I can do and say what I want, and if you try to stop that, then with the first link forged, the chain is okay. Really, you completely misinterpreted that, but yet it's the one thing out of Star Trek that they know by heart. I don't know. I think it's
knowing something and understanding something are completely different things, as Jaden pointed out in this episode.
Yeah,
it is, and well, there's
that world police mentality.
Yes, there's that. There's understanding it, and then there's also twisting it to suit your needs. And it's a shame that, but yeah.
A shocking lack of media literacy from some people.
This person here, Boo Bar, like assumes that we need some ass in order for the show to improve, but no, the show has promoved leaps and bounds just on this episode alone. And if I don't expect the show to match this episode in every episode we get, but this is a standard bearer, and so no, we don't need ass.
I mean, this person just seems like they're here to, troll.
Yeah, it's Rick Berman's all to count.
Yeah, it really is.
I was thinking that.
Okay. Anyway, Mage.
Yeah.
Continue.
Anyway, after Caleb's dominating, much to the doctor's surprise, as we were saying, but Jaden almost has a panic attack when it gets to be his turn.
Mate, I thought he was going through some Klingon Pon Far shit, and I thought he was going to rage all over fucking Caleb at one point. Thank God that didn't happen. I'm so happy.
So, right.
I mean, what did you guys think of the doctor in the beginning? Very out of character for the doctor that we know of. I mean, he was using some profanity, and I've seen some people being a little tiffed online about that, and I'm like, dude's like 900 years old. Like, man, I'm going to be a little old, nasty, mean grandpa when I get to be that age. I'm going to say words that my kids have never heard.
This is an evolution.
He's been around long enough to talk any way he pleases. Pretty much like he said, he has earned that privilege to speak any way that he chooses.
900 years old, if you reach,
he can say,
you will say.
He can say anything he damn well wants.
It is out of character for what he was in Voyager, but he's been around for centuries now.
Almost a millennia.
And I don't have a problem with this. I saw a lot of discourse online about the doctor's profanity, and I'm like, really? Like, this is what we're getting all upset about? Are we that desperate to shit on this show?
Yes,
yes, they are. That's the problem.
There are people desperate, and here's the thing. The thing is because this show is doing a very good job of not willingly giving up stuff to feed the angry trolls, to give them something to bitch about. It's really not. Like, there's well, okay, at least for me, and you guys all know me, there's only been one Star Trek series that was torture for me to have to sit through and watch every episode of. But aside from that, I try to look at all the Star Trek in the episodes through an analytical lens, instead of automatically hating it like Rick B 728. But like, I can see in different series, seasons, episodes where it's like, oh boy, we're going to be hearing about this online. But with this one, it's like you have to really dig and try to find the thing you want to bitch about for each episode.
Or they'll just be like generic about it. Oh, it's a shit script. Why is it a shit script? Tell me why. Tell me specifically why it's a shit script. It's a Kurtzman's shit script. And I'm like,
right. Yep.
You're not giving me anything.
They never have any evidence.
Yeah, they never, and I'm not saying everything's good. Like, I did not like last week's episode. I was very critical on last week's episode. And I gave reasons why I was critical on it.
And I thought last week's episode was just an average episode, but this episode kind of reminded me what Star Trek's all about. But we got some free advice here, really good free advice. Here's some free advice for you, Alex Kurtzman. Emulate the series Dallas success, and make Sith of a series be a bad. What the fuck? I don't understand any of that.
Why are you even reading that? It makes no sense.
Yeah, the only new trick I'll watch is if Quentin does Trek. Even if it's not, well, Tarantino is not just a director; he writes his own shit. So if he's going to do Trek, he has to write his own.
I'm surprised he hasn't done this Trek for how much we've seen Holly Hunter's feet in this series.
Yeah,
good point.
Like, he's like a shadow writer on this one.
Definitely the director.
I saw her feet this entire episode.
Well, we did last episode. We saw her feet a lot.
I can't get on board with anybody hating on this show so far. It's like, no, dude, you don't have a case.
I'm with Jefferson on this one, so
yeah, and just to go to Rick B on this as well, Rick B, like, you gotta be really subjective, mate, because you listen to us when we crap on it when we have to, and we all give our own opinions. Obviously, Cheeto had a different opinion to us last week. And then we praise things when it is good. It's not because this is Kurtzman Trek or this is just a new version of Star Trek that we have to hate everything about it all the time. That's not being subjective at all. And the way you like AEW over WWE and all of that sort of stuff. It's not being subjective at all. You're basically in a camp, Rick B, and you're not looking at things individually like we are.
Not at all.
All right. So anyway, Mage.
Afterwards, Caleb tries to comfort Jaden with the warrior stew, but that he can't eat it yet, proving this is a start of a kind of a pattern of him knowing things about Klingon culture but not understanding it. And that kind of is a theme that comes along with that whole plot line, I felt like. But then Ake informs Jaden that his family was aboard a freighter ship that crashed along with members of the other 7 remaining Klingon houses. And the news montage informs us that the Klingons are on the verge of extinction.
The news to me, like, what the fuck? First of all, the fucking Romulans, and now the Klingons are like, shit. This century is really shit to our main species.
And you can see on Jaden's face when they tell him that there's some very difficult feelings there regarding his family, although we don't know why at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the only critique I kind of have about that up to this point with how they gave us the news with what happened to the Klingon homeworld is like, come out and tell us and show us. Don't be afraid. Don't have it on the news in the background to where you might miss it. Just show it up there, and like they did in Star Trek 2009. They showed us Romulus get blown up, and then Vulcan get black holed and whatnot. But that was the one small thing that I remember thinking about it. Like, that's very big to say that the burn caused the destruction of the Klingon homeworld, and they're basically refugees. But I just kind of felt like they were afraid to say it, so let's just put it on the news in the background and kind of show a picture. Like, let's test the waters for revealing this information. And I just felt like, no, you didn't have to tiptoe that.
Make strong commitments. Build the universe.
I just saw it as a framing device. They were using that as kind of a segue to dump a lot of exposition at once without having to go through all the effort of CGIing it up, all that good stuff. But I can see the gripe. I definitely can see the gripe of wanting to be able to see it.
Well, no. I mean, let me rephrase that. I don't mean I need to see the CGI effect of it happening. Don't have it explained in the background on a TV. Make it something that's in the foreground.
Put it up front and center.
Yes, that's more of what I meant. That not the special effects part of it. It's have it not be on MSNBC in the background. That was the thing that kind of got me. Yeah.
Okay. So he's off Jaden's. Greetings, welcome to the stream. Jaden's offered time off, but he refuses it, telling them that he said goodbye to his family long ago.
They said goodbye to him pretty much.
Right.
Oh, dude!
Bye, Felicia.
Come on, man.
That was rough.
Zam's just like, man.
We can't take him anywhere.
Nope.
Hey, that's my title. Jesus.
Zam takes no quarry.
No. So for the debate, they end up picking the Klingon diaspora as the topic, despite the Doctor's initial objections. Jaden argues that they can't ignore reality, and kind of the Doctor goes along with his wishes to have this be their topic. Mir offers a team up, which insults Jaden, but who is also of the opposite position. He feels that the Federation shouldn't offer aid to the Klingons in this time of need.
I want to say that one of the things I liked about this moment is that even though Jaden is not your technically your stereotypical Klingon, he doesn't want people fighting his own battles for him. He still wants to represent himself, regardless, even if he's like he finds public speaking to be difficult and all of that, which is what I like, because he doesn't have an issue with Caleb, so to speak, but he probably doesn't want to come across as weak by saying that Caleb has to speak up for him and all of that. And I appreciated that about Jaden. He's able to talk for himself, and he's not a weak character, regardless of being different.
Kindness and difference aren't weaknesses; they're strengths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Caleb's also he comes across as a little smug. And,
because he is.
Well, yeah, he is. And I feel like he's treating almost like he's acting like he's better than Jaden just because he's not afraid to speak in public. And in my point of view, from Jaden's eyes, that's an absolute insult. That I feel like he was doing it genuinely, but doesn't understand Klingon culture in a way to see that as making Jaden look weak.
Right. Hard agree.
He wanted to argue his point.
Yeah, he wanted to speak
argue.
for him.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing that I didn't like about that part though, is that you got Caleb, who is sitting there quoting regulation, and here you go, you have another person that has really not been involved with the Federation for a long time, he's basically been a prisoner, but yet he's memorizing Starfleet protocol. Like he's all of a sudden, like, now that he's put the uniform on, he's the super cadet. You know what I mean? Like, I find that would be something maybe that would come from one of the other characters. Even the what the hologram, what is she called? The
Sam.
Sam, yeah. Sam, the photon lady. Like, or what do they call them? Mage. I don't know.
Photonic.
Photon, yeah.
But
Photonic.
he's also been in Federation jails and stuff multiple times throughout his life. I mean, sometimes laws and regulation are a survival tool as well.
Yeah, he mentioned that. He mentioned that, how he needs to know shit in order to survive.
And I get that, but that's what I'm saying is, like, but he's just quoting things like that just don't. I don't know. It just seems
they don't
weird.
pertain to what the kind of law an inmate would be looking up in their own defense.
Yeah,
well, the guy, he could be, the guy could just be like a genius, like who's had life really rough because of what happened with his mum, She-Hulk at the big, in the pilot episode and all of that, him being on the run and stuff. But he could be a lot smarter than we tend to realize. It's early days yet. It's only 4 episodes in.
Actually, I Am King Mud brings up a good point. I want Caleb to be the villain at the end of the season.
And by the way, Boobar does also bring up something that I'm actually curious. I would love to know what the Terran universe is like in this particular timeline.
I want to know what the Terran universe is up to in any timeline, like or any time frame. I'm always a fan of the Terran universe,
and I hated Mirror Universe altogether.
I
absolutely hate it.
I think they really went above and beyond to stretch how much everything lined up. All the people were born the same time, but they all just happened to die on this episode. Like there's way, and I get mirror that whole thing, but the more they did it, and the more they had things just not make sense. Like okay, at what point do you not have all the same people as a mirror? Like, are people's births linked? We know their deaths are not, but it always seems like everyone has.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's a contrivance to be able to use the same core cast.
Good thing it's a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because that is super unrealistic.
Well, I remember Lorca saying in season 1 of Discovery, saying that it's something like I can't remember the phrase exactly, but it's something to do with like fate. Like I'm not sure if you guys remember the phrase, but he mentioned that because there are people who are the same as us but different in a different universe. That, like, in a way, it means that there is a fate in what we do in order for an alternative reality to have us in it. If you know what I mean, like we must be all following a similar fate in order for us all to exist in a different reality. I can't remember the words, but yeah, it was good.
Not everybody is straight and fit in the mirror universe. Did you not see Kira?
He's making a point about, he's trying to say that everybody in the current series is either gay or out of shape.
Giorgio banged anything with 2 legs, if I recall, and they were not all men. The mirror universe, the Terran universe, you're the Empress, Giorgio.
So they
go ahead, Mage.
I've lost my place. Jaden, we get to the scene where Jaden is practicing and Caleb comes offering him the unsolicited advice. And they argue some more. Jaden tells him that they're not brothers in a way. And Raimi comes later and teaches Jaden his Kionian breathing exercises.
Hey, Rick B, why is everybody straight on these shows? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. Well, we don't know because we haven't been in the other universe, but that was a bit homoerotic that moment. But you know what? For Femi, that's his name. Yeah, he's a really unusual character. Like he came across as your stereotypical dickhead jock in episode 1.
Yeah, most of those people are gay anyway. You know, like
all of a sudden
about it.
He's helping Caleb make his bed, and then now he's doing breathing exercises. With and like what the fuck? This character's all over the place. I'll be honest with you, he is a bit all over the place. If I have one issue, like how can you come across as a horrible person in the first episode and all of a sudden just be nice and friendly with everyone, within 3 or 4 episodes? It makes no sense.
And with him, I feel like they shoehorned in an almost intimate moment that didn't belong there because they don't Jaden and the Kionian kid, they don't have that kind of bond or even friendship where that would go literally anywhere, and it felt really off and almost uncomfortable. Him trying to help him and do the breathing techniques, that was one thing. Trying to prepare him and help him get through his speech. Okay, that's fine. But they added something to it that just didn't need to be there.
And he bullied Jaden just 3 weeks ago. I don't get it.
he was bullying everybody 3 weeks ago.
So. Yeah, exactly. So from him to be so considerate, it just feels out of place. I have no problem with him having an arc where he becomes a better person, but this is not an arc. This is just what the fuck?
It's a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
A little bit. But so the debate starts with the doctor as judge. One thing irked me. Sam is it just me or did Sam mispronounce Kittimer Accords?
She absolutely mispronounced the Kittimer Accords.
That went over my head.
Yeah, I must have missed it. I was watching on my phone.
Fair enough. You didn't catch it either. I catch stupid details.
No, that's not a stupid detail. The Kittimer Accords is a very important part in Trek history. If she mispronounced Kittimer Accords, that's a big faux pas because the Kittimer Accords is huge.
He's so in it, man. I'm making a valid criticism. Jesus Christ.
I know, but he latches onto that like a dingleberry, and he's just hangs on for dear life.
That bit bad. It must be all bad, all of it.
I instantly ignore the ramblings of anybody who uses the word cringe. It just shows how cynical you are, that you can't enjoy anything.
I hate that word.
Me too.
I also hate that word.
I love that word.
You would, Cheeto. God damn it, you would.
Now you're making me self. I gotta try not to use it around you guys.
You be you, man. You be you, and I will listen to your criticisms because I know you. But I usually tune people out when they start using it because it just comes from a place of cynicism.
But I digress. Cringe advice there, Mage. All right. Anyway, go. I'll shut up. Go ahead, Mage. Continue.
No. So we get to Mir and Jaden, and Caleb starts off. The panic attack sets in, but Jaden is able to use the Kionian breathing exercises His bro from the audience reminds him with the double fist bump together. The debate gets increasingly heated as the Doctor issues warning after warning. I hope his cam freezes like that for the rest of the stream.
I'll say this, yeah. They both made excellent points.
They did. It was a good debate scene.
It was a really good debate. Mass debate. A joke I like to say quite a lot, which was used in this episode as well.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was waiting. You're the master. I am the master debater. I was like, oh, Dan's gonna mark out for that one.
Yeah, I did.
He may be a master debater, but I am the cunning linguist of the group.
I was that debate. I was really looking forward to because I was really wanted to see. Okay, what would be a Klingon's debate as to not, going for relocating this planet? To me, that seemed like, wow, that's kind of, I want to hear this. So I'm glad they went that route. I'm glad that the person arguing against it was a Klingon and not like the reverse. It made it more captivating.
Because he's basically saying
it was so much about them not relocating as it was about the Federation trying to force the relocation.
The Klingons don't want handouts.
They don't want
exactly.
handouts. If they take it, they want to take it by conquest. They're not going to let you just hand something to them. That's not their culture.
Yeah, which is what he was trying to explain. Jaden was his whole argument, which was excellent.
Absolutely.
A Klingon problem needs a Klingon solution.
Yep.
Which he says that. Eventually he says that, but hit this scene where they're arguing about self-definition and stuff, the Doctor throws both of them out after things get so heated on the stage.
The Doctor, I'm loving the Doctor on this show. I think, I think that I love catching up with the Doctor. I do love having these crossover characters, you know what I mean? Like, or these, like legacy characters that can come back and actually do little tidbits here and there. I think it's good. Especially like the Doctor, it just makes sense for him to be there. You know what I mean? Like Section 31, it made no sense for Rachel Garrett to be there. However,
exactly.
But in this one, it's like, no, the Doctor's been around for 700 years, and he, this is where he is. Makes sense.
Yeah. Things have been in motion while we haven't been seeing this universe, and things don't stay the same or static in real life. Why should things stay static for so long in a fictional universe?
And from my point of view, it feels like that the debate, it was almost like a sibling rivalry. I'm the oldest of five. We had a lot of that growing up. So, and it felt very much like, I've got to one up you. I know better. Well, no, I'm an actual Klingon and I understand the culture. That's where I was saying, found family, they're not brothers, but they behave and act as siblings would.
Yeah.
And they rely on each other and have since the beginning.
Listen, I just don't want them to get all huggy like they did on Discovery. I can't do, like, I don't like all the huggy. Like, that's the only thing about New Trek that really irks me. Like, the overarching thing about New Trek is like all the huggy. Like Discovery, everybody's hugging. And I love you so much.
Yeah, but why though? I mean,
because
creatures have emotions. What's wrong with showing them?
Right.
Yeah, but Starfleet and the Federal, like, it's a
paramilitary
organization.
You talking about when Burnham met up with Discovery after? Like when she met up with Discovery after not seeing them as far as she was concerned.
Dude, they hugged each other all the time in Discovery, like all the time. Yeah. It wasn't just at the end, and like I'm like, man, this is not like like I got it with Picard because it's like they had all been like retired and they worked their entire lives together. Like Burnham would give people a hug. She's like, "Oh, I met you for the first time. Here's a big old hug."
All right.
I mean, just because it's a paramilitary organization doesn't mean that they don't have emotions and need to bottle up what they do have.
But there's to beat devil's advocate on Cheeto's side, there's a level of like decorum and professionalism that would be expected in a program like that, you would think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but who draws that line?
The commanding officer.
And I
usually.
mean, if you watch, if you watch a lot of TNG, DS9, Voyager, like, and even Enterprise, like when things were not as like strict, like there's not a lot of that. And again, it irks me because like I don't go to work and hug my I work with them. I don't go to work and hug my coworkers.
But you don't live with them.
It feels like I do.
Well, in your case, I'm pretty sure they have a bed for you in the back that they just shackle you to. So
right, yeah,
not anymore. I broke those shackles. Anyway, Mage, back to you.
I was thinking, Mage, have you brought up Holly Hunter's character and her Klingon love interest?
Not yet. We're gonna get there.
Okay.
We've come to the scene where Laura comes to Jaden. She implies that Caleb and he are brothers. Jaden tells her of the hunt with his father, and she explains that from her point of view, his father missed the shot to set him free. That he must see himself as the warrior his father and brother did. She tells him about Fawn Alpha, the new Kronos that the Federation wants to gift to the Klingons. He decides he wants back onto the stage, where he expresses his.
Sorry, I'd like to add the Jem'Hadar Klingon lady. Her name again?
Laura Thok.
Laura, fuck. I'm British. We need to fucking abbreviate these names. I'm just gonna call her Laura. I like the fact that she's a mentor to Jaden. Like, like closest thing he's got to like a maternal figure to a degree. Or in Starfleet, it's the closest person he can relate to in Starfleet. I thought that was an excellent moment when they had their little conversation with each other. Another layer in what was a superb episode, in my opinion.
I'm pretty sure this is my favorite episode, part of any episode so far in this show. And I know it's only 4 episodes in, but like I did want to see this. Because I knew that Laura Thok was half Klingon, and obviously Jaden is full Klingon. So it's like, I wanted to see that interaction sooner rather than later. And I'm glad they gave it to us this early so that we can kind of, because I want to see Laura take Jaden under her wing a little bit, not like we see them together every episode, but like whenever there is a problem, it's like Laura's the one that goes to him and be like, and talks to him like a Klingon, which she did in this episode. You know what I mean? One thing I did not like about this part was that it wound up being like he missed to set you free, and I'm like, no, I don't believe that for a second with the Klingons. You know what I mean? Like I believe that he was probably very disappointed in his son being a healer. That would more track for a Klingon father, especially when the race is back against the wall.
I'm more stumped at how did Jaden get off that planet after his family abandoned him.
There were probably other Klingons on the planet. Like I think they said that.
Yeah, there was the trading. There were traders that.
Yeah,
that's how his brother got stabbed.
Yeah. They mentioned the traders. Yeah, good point. Yeah.
Yeah, there's other Klingons on the planet. Like I think what they mean by the refugee ship is that the ship. I think the ship goes from planet to planet, and they just they're like nomads almost now.
Like
they
Battlestar Galactica.
Okay.
Oh God, Battlestar Galactica. There's a flashback.
Yeah.
No,
Hey, Rick B, why do you spell Kronos in a stupid way? It's spelled with a Q.
It's the Klingon pronunciation.
Kronos
is the answer to his question, but I don't think he wanted a real answer, anyways.
Although I do agree, like they and the I just watched the Kelvin Universe movies with my girlfriend recently, and they spell it like that, like Kronos, like Kronos, and I'm like, oh no, don't do that. Don't do that. No.
I think it's just has an alternate way of spelling
It's,
or spelling it, which I could see that.
I mean, it's phonetically, yes. So I mean,
Whose two dads are you talking about, Rick B?
Jaden's.
I thought he had a dad and a mom. I saw a mom.
He has a
might
dad
be
and a
with
mom.
us.
He has two dads. They mentioned a triad house. That
What? Really?
I
Yeah.
thought it was like his uncle
Yeah.
or something like
He
that.
had 2 dads, a mom, his brother, and him.
I never picked up on that, but fair enough.
But here's the thing, though, that I didn't pick up on it either. But hey, guess what? That means they're not throwing it in your face. You know what I mean? Like they're, like
the representation's just there.
Yeah, the representation is subtle. Rick B, you should be excited about that they're not throwing it in your face like that. Rick B's like,
people are still different than
time.
him, though. People are still different from him, so that's still gonna bother him.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, and it makes sense now that I think about it. My first knee-jerk reaction, the thought was, wow, that would be very awkward, a two husband, one wife house. But then I thought, okay,
House of Mormon.
Well, yeah, but no, because they need the genetic diversity. When you're down to your last few thousand, you've got to diversify it. Otherwise, you could inbreed yourself into extinction.
I mean, that's probably what the Vulcans did in the Kelvin universe. They used Ponfar Agra, to, spread out their race a little bit more quickly.
Someone mute him. Ponfar Agra.
Oh Lord. So we're gonna cut back to the Jaden's backstory plot since we're kind of dancing all around it, talking about it.
Ponfar Agra. Oh, sorry. Ponfar Agra.
Ponfar Agra.
Jefferson.
Yeah, I'm broken. You broke me.
Oh, it happens more than we'd like to admit. I liked the flashback sequence to Kaios Prime, where we met Jaden and his family, who, initially, they take the typical Klingon line of they don't approve of his desire to be a healer and his pacifism, but they kind of, the brother dies, and it just we get them abandoning him. But when Laura explains it to him, that I don't know, what are you guys' thoughts on the backstory flashbacks?
I mean, his brother was the only one. His mother is the one that taught him to be a healer. He tells us about that in, I believe it was the first episode. But his brother is the one that really saw him for who he is and told him, the way of the warrior was not for him. Weapons were not for him. He needed to follow his own path.
Yeah. You got a brain, use it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I already said my only thing about the flashbacks was just like the revelation of him missing the bird on purpose, and like I didn't buy it. I did not.
It was just basically just a way of getting to know who Jaden is as a person overall. So it's all, the foundation is pretty much built now for him. We know what sort of guy he is now from all of these things going forward. Mm-hmm. He's a pacifist, but he's not a walkover either. Like he's weird. Like he's a calm. He mentioned it at one point. Like, I am Starfleet and I'm a Klingon, but as a Klingon pacifist, he's still a fighter, even though he doesn't necessarily want to fight. Which is, I know, it's a bit of an oxymoron, but I hope you guys get what I'm saying.
He doesn't start the fight, but he'll end the fight.
Well, and it seems like Laura is helping him to understand that you don't have to kill people to be Klingon. She's a weird hybrid. So, her telling him about her backstory, her Jim Hadar father and her Klingon mother, and, but her still being a Klingon elder to him and wanting to kind of be a mentor to him and help him be able to see the kind of Klingon that he is when he doesn't even know who he is yet.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that matters, and I hope to see him grow and develop into himself a little bit more as we go on. But understanding where he comes from and kind of how his family is and the trauma of him losing his brother when his brother died because he was trying to get something for Jaden. So the guilt that he probably feels surrounding that.
I don't know. To me, that was kind of tropey, but I mean,
it's Star Trek. Tropey is a thing in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they could have gone with a different thing.
Yeah, they could have.
Rick B, mate, your obsessions need to calm down. But I am King Mud. Yeah, hopefully we will get foundations for the character. I think Caleb is pretty much established, and he's getting more established just playing a supporting role like he was in this episode. And Jaden really got established today. So I'm looking forward to getting some more character episodes in the future.
I want to see Genesis's dad show up at the academy. Her admiral.
Oh, that would be absolutely freaking hilarious.
Hey, wait, wasn't at Discovery season 3? Was that an admiral at that Starfleet outpost that they were at?
What's that?
In season 3 when they made it to the Starfleet outpost, was that a admiral that was there, or was that just somebody like a communication?
No, I think that was an admiral that was there.
I don't know if they're probably not the same race. I don't remember what race he was. He probably was human, but like, if I remember right. But it just would have been interesting if that was her father. You know what I mean? Like, nice little throwback to Discovery.
Yeah, make a connection to Disco.
Be off.
Nah. So when we get Jaden back onto the stage for the debate, he eventually says that they need to have a Klingon solution for their Klingon problem. And the Federation goes along with it, which is to use the planet, to have a fake war over the planet. And I thought that part was really clever. Use these pretenses and take advantage of the fact that Klingon honor is paper thin. And it's like a samurai sort of thing where Bushido is invented after the fact, and the Klingons will do dirty things but hide behind honor.
So I've got a question for you. Did the Klingons, was that more of like a help us to feel good about it? We know you're pulling your punches, probably fucking with us, but like I don't know. It almost kind of seemed like if it's just symbolic, so you can feel like maybe you went through a battle, that's one thing. But if they didn't have any reason to think that Starfleet wasn't doing anything but going all out, because are you telling me that they, like, were the Starfleet ships really trying? Did both sides know? Because
I can answer that. Like, I think Holly Hunter's love interest, he definitely in on it. He gets it. But it doesn't mean everyone else gets it. Whilst I think Starfleet are pretty much in on it as well, because obviously they want to resolve this issue and do things the right way. So they're giving the Klingons what they want, and only one person on the inside is in on it. And that's why there was no casualties, and it got resolved very quickly, and Starfleet surrendered in a heartbeat. They gave the Klingons what they wanted. They wanted a fight over territory, and they got it, and they won, and everyone's hunky dory.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and he basically told her, during their scene when they were in her quarters, that the Klingon homeworld was, they got that by conquest, and that the Federation can't just give them something. The only way they're going to take it is by conquering it. And I think that even though Jaden didn't know about that whole interaction, I think in the back of her mind, she's not stupid. She was already cooking up a plan of how to make this work. But then when Jaden came, with his idea and saying, we need a Klingon solution to a Klingon problem, it kind of all clicked together. And okay, we're going to have this fake war, and that's why they only showed up with like 5 ships against a whole crap ton of Klingon ships.
It was really good to hear that Klingon music, by the way. When
I was just gonna say that Klingon music.
Yeah, it was good.
It was like the Vulcan hello all over again.
I'm willing to venture to say that besides the past lover, there's a non-zero amount of Klingons that were in that fleet thinking, okay, thanks guys, we get it, we appreciate it. You're not fooling us that you're not trying to go all out. You can't tell me that they all thought, oh yes, glorious battle, we chased them off.
I think they knew. I think
I agree
a lot
with
of
you
them
there.
probably knew what was going on. Either that, or just the Klingons are that arrogant that they're just like, and the ones that are smart are like, we know what's going on, and you know what? Because there are smart, like the older the Klingons get, you can tell, like all the older Klingons, like they know it's almost the honor game. It's not about honor; it's the honor game.
The traditions. Like,
Yeah,
you have to,
a culture built in myth, like Jaden said.
We need to do this the traditional way.
I want to answer what you asked. They didn't use the dermal regenerator because they didn't have it. His brother died trying to get it.
He said, why wouldn't they use it?
Yeah, but
because they can't
Federation
use it if they don't have it. It was still at the market.
No, but he's also saying they have had that same technology for 800 years. And the answer to Rick B, the answer to that question is they wouldn't use a Federation dermal regenerator. They did not have a Klingon dermal regenerator. They were not, and even if they had the Federation dermal regenerator, they would not have wanted to use it.
They probably wouldn't have known how to use it. It's probably set up different.
Yeah, and they're not physicians, so they don't understand that.
I mean, dermal regenerators kind of like people have those in their quarters. They're like point and shoot. Point at a wound and shoot.
Whilst Jaden understood that the thing that damaged his brother is the thing that could save him, they can't comprehend that. They don't get it. They're not medics in any capacity. They're warriors.
Right.
And that makes sense to you. Wow. Okay. You know what, Rick B? Sorry. Go ahead, Mage. Just.
Zam, did you have anything you wanted to talk about with the scenes between Obel and Captain
Well, first
Ake?
of all, that is the most palest Klingon motherfucker I've ever seen in my entire life. You know what I mean?
He's old.
I'm not sure. No, I thought is he albino? I had no idea.
There was an albino Klingon in DS9. I mean, that's not unheard of for an albino Klingon.
All right, yeah, fair enough. But this guy, he just looked a bit light skinned, for me. Like, if he mixed race, I mean, I had no idea.
That's racist.
Maybe he was hiding in a cave. No sunlight.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he seems to be out of that cave a lot. Maybe he seems to be in Holly Hunter's cave quite a bit. But regardless, he seemed like an interesting character, and he was a leader as well, and all of that. And him and Holly Hunter's has a past. I still don't know her character's name. What is Holly Hunter's character's name?
Nala Ake.
why can't they have just more simpler names that roll off the tongue?
I mean, think about it though.
Right.
Jadzia Dax. Jadzia Dax is not a normal name. We had 7
Yeah,
seasons.
but you can you just call it Jadzia, and the Dax part is the overall is like the symbiotes which have gone down the lineage. You know,
It's still a surname.
Yeah, I know, but you call it by a first name. I mean, is this Val?
Okay, we can call her Nala. There we go.
Nala.
Yeah, I'd
okay,
say just think
enough.
of Lion King.
Okay.
I see.
It's just that some of these names sound like I'm about to cough up a phlegm, and I just don't like them. Regardless.
All right, Mage.
Joke on your tongue.
Yeah, so but just to conclude, yeah, like their relationship, you know, if they take this further in future episodes, it'll be interesting to see. You know what I mean? But Holly Hunter looks like she's been around the block a bit, which is cool. There's nothing wrong in that. She's 400 years old.
So I'm out of notes.
All right, polls up.
Polls up. Let's
polls
start
up.
marking it. Who wants to go first with some marks and final thoughts?
I'll go
Cheeto?
first.
Cheeto, we can go clockwise. We'll start with you, sir.
I'm gonna
missed the thing about the elder giving Jaden the bow and and his parents.
When did Klingon switch to bows instead of batleth? It's like, not that it's a huge problem, but I'm like, you know, like Klingons never used bows before. Not that they can't advance and change, but I'm just saying, like, where were the batleths in this episode? Like, just because they use bows doesn't mean they don't have to have bat. And I know the bow had like little daggers on it that kind of looked like batleth, but I'm like,
how are you going to go bird hunting with the batleth?
Material to make them. I mean, they've been nomadic for we're not certain exactly how long. Maybe it was having to adapt to environments and surroundings.
Yeah, but
It's
that
been a long
that was
time.
a nice move. I felt really happy for Jaden getting that bow. You know, like
getting that good news too.
Yeah,
well done.
He got to eat his warrior stew,
and his parents are still alive.
Spicy.
And his parents still being alive, and him and Caleb make up, and you know they talk about Jaden feeling like he didn't have the room in his heart for the memory of his brother and Caleb, because Caleb and his brother were a lot alike.
Yeah.
And Caleb talking about his mom, and these things matter. They build these characters to what they are and build the relationships.
They had that like Klingons in Discovery. The Klingons in Discovery in season 1 were a disgrace. Like the look they created.
You see, Rick B.
They look like vampires.
We can be critical too. Anyway, all right. I know he doesn't care. He just wants to hear himself talk into the void. Okay, so I'm gonna give it a 9. I really enjoyed this episode. I mean, stark difference from last week. I really like that we dug into the Klingon, like what the Klingons have been up to. This is exactly what I wanted in the 32nd century, is to see what these races are up to. I love these episodes. Does it need to be every episode? No, but like I really feel like this is, I liked episode 2 where we got to see what the Betazoids were up to. You know what I mean? Like I like finding out where our mainstayers are, because it's almost like a soft reset. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna give it a 9. I really like this episode, and I really like Jaden, right? Yeah, Jaden, and I really like the route they went with him in this episode. He always seems soft-spoken, so it makes sense that he would be bad at public speaking. So it's like, I think a lot of things clicked in this episode, and I really, really enjoyed the route they went with this episode. 1 or 2 little nitpicks, but I mean, not really anything that like blew like last week. That the whole episode just blew my mind away. Not in a good way.
The good way.
All right,
Sam.
Well, I just want to tell Rick B that, you know what, Rick B, there was something in this episode that really offended the fuck out of me. How dare you pick out the pepperoni and throw it away? Like, I don't give a fuck if you're Klingon or not.
Right?
Yeah. Pepperoni, man. What the fuck? And at the same time,
Caleb, pepperoni is the whole point.
I thought it was funny though.
That was hilarious. I thought that I laughed so hard at that.
Regardless, regardless, that I do have nitpicks with this episode, but I almost forgot what Star Trek was about because, as I said earlier, Strange New World season 3 really failed to deliver, and this episode of Star Trek, regardless of whether it be whatever it may be, it is so good. Is like this is why I'm a Star Trek fan with episodes like this. Really phenomenal episodes that deal with so many things in the world that we live in today. Do you have to be? Do you have, because of where you're from? Do you have to be this particular person? Can you not be what you want to be? All of these things. The bonds that bind you as well, and being out of your comfort zone, and there's so much, and it's so Star Trek at the same time. This is the Star Trek I love in series format. I'm giving this episode 10, baby.
Ooh, 10
10
sausages.
Wow.
10 sausages. Wow.
Damn, rarely gives a 10.
I was beyond impressed, and I was not expecting an episode of this level of quality. Whilst this show is still trying to find its feet, to be as good as this. This is Star Trek at its purest. I love it. I want more. I want to watch more. Exactly, King Mud. This is phenomenal. Like AJ Styles.
All right, Jefferson.
Oh, I want to give a 10. It's not that I don't think this is a 10. It's just I don't know that there's. I mean, what is an episode of Star Trek that could never be beaten? It's almost like Warp 10. You just cannot hit that, no matter how close you get, and you can get ever infinitesimally closer at exponential cost of power. But you know what? I'm going to give this one a 10. I'm going to give it a 10 because the little stuff is still impressing me. The things that I'm sure a lot of folks probably miss. That still really delivers, and I'm really glad that when we got the Klingons back, that they were going to be just so drastically different, and it's different to the point of, well, we don't have Romulus, and shit, now we don't have Kronos.
We almost didn't have Earth.
Almost didn't have Earth. Right. So, and when the Starfleet officers talk about members of the Federation that left, this one really stings. Naming Beta Z instead of some no name, never heard of. I don't want to hear any of that. I want to hear that the big ones walked. Vulcan, Beta Z, Trill, Capricorn 7. Who? What race is that? The Copernicans. The fuck I care. So they're willing. they're willing to lay it on the table and say, here is a major species, and you know what? They're fucked. And this is why, and this is what happened, and they're on the brink of possible extinction. So here it is. Suck it.
I think that a lot of the big Federation names should have walked, like Navarre and Tellar and all those other things.
Well, they did.
Hold on, and they should have formed another alliance called the Confederation of Peace, and then
Sorry, can I also add that the actor who plays Jaden, amazing, playing a Klingon the way he did, and he's having to maintain that character, for the future. He's a fantastic actor, and he's done a great job playing that particular a young Klingon as well, who's still trying to find himself. We don't often get that, and great.
Because we don't remember Alexander.
Well, he was hardly used, and
more wasted potential.
But remember,
Worf barely remembers Alexander.
Yeah. So all of these things. Yeah, I'm glad King Mud's giving it a 10 as well. Well done, mate. You got and you know your shit. Rick B giving it a shit 10.
Figures. Scarlett?
I'm gonna go with a 9. There were a couple of things that really bothered me. The main one being that whole scene with the Kionian kid, which I can't ever remember his name, and Jaden. It felt too forced, and it bothered me on a weird level. So
you got the ick from it?
I got serious ick from that.
I have a daughter. Can't you tell?
Yes, absolutely. Me too. And that was my only real gripe in this episode was that particular scene. I think otherwise it was a really well done episode. I think it flowed well. I think the pacing was good. I really enjoyed the backstory and getting to understand and learn about Jaden's brother and his family, and also getting a little bit more information on Caleb and his stuff, and just seeing the bonds form as they go. So I think I have high hopes for the series. I really do.
I actually the one comparison I forgot to make earlier that I wanted to make is that I got the vibes of what is from the Orville? What is Bortus's race?
Yeah. I don't know, but he's basically their version of a Klingon.
Remember that episode from season 3 when basically there was this big to do with their race and everything like that, and that's what this episode reminded me of. There was a lot of emotional charge in this episode, just like in that episode on the Orville, and I really that's the first thing I thought of when this episode was over was holy crap, this was good Trek. That's a comparison I wanted to make and I forgot earlier. Anyway,
good night, Rick B. Yeah.
All right, so what would you mark it out of 10?
Me?
She said 9.
She said 9. I didn't hear it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, shit. I'm also going to give it a 9.
Yes, the 9s win. Suck it, 10s.
I should make you mad and do a half mark just to meet the
I just want to say that for me, what Scarlett said, I agree with her. I genuinely agree, but I just felt that there was so much good from this episode that even the gripes got drowned by how good this episode was. That the gripes don't stick out for me. The gripes don't stick out at all, and I totally forgot about that until you mentioned it, because this episode was so good that I don't even think about the bad. So that's why it got a 10 for me. Sometimes you think to yourself, you know what, this episode was really good, but those sort of scenes didn't do it for me, which is why I give it a 9 or an 8. Not on this occasion. This was excellent.
If it wasn't for that really serious ick factor, for me personally, it would have gotten a 10.
Yeah, fair enough.
And for here, 10's just it's perfection. It's just, while this has all the core stuff that really makes a good Star Trek episode, like ethical questions, questions about self-determination and self-identity, it just, I don't know, didn't hit that mark like the classics for me.
For me, it's too many straight people. Too many straight people on the show. So
too many straight people.
Not enough white people either.
Yeah, not enough white people. Not enough white gay people. That's my big thing.
Not enough white straight people, you mean?
No, I was saying that there's too many straight people.
Okay, fair enough.
Yep.
Because Rick B says that there's too many gay people.
I have
Rick
to counterbalance
B's entire
that.
purpose in life is to be a troll.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So you've been watching our NerdTube review of Star Trek of Starfleet Academy Season 1, Episode 4. I want to thank everybody for joining us in the audience and chat. I want to thank my co-host, Cousin Cheeto, Zam, Jefferson Presto Sisto, Kelly, and Scarlett's Fire. we've got more than just Trek content here on NerdTube, so there's plenty of reasons you should subscribe and check it out. We've got sports entertainment content. Like tomorrow, we've got SmackDown review, right, Zam?
Yeah, I'm doing. I'll try and squeeze it in as quickly as I can because it's coming live from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. So they are in a time zone, which means that I will hopefully be able to do the review as soon as the show is ended. And on the following day is the Royal Rumble, which will be on Saturday, and I'll be doing a live watch along with hopefully other members of NerdTube for that as well.
I will try to be there tomorrow, or I'll try to be there Saturday morning for that one. I believe it's at 9 a.m. our time.
No, it's 5 p.m. UK, which will be 2 p.m. US Eastern.
Oh, really? Oh.
No, 12 p.m. No, oh shit, 7 p.m. No, you know what? Just look Google
I'll just look it up. Yeah.
So yeah, plenty of reasons.
7-hour time difference.
It's fine.
Between the East Coast of America and UK is 5, but I think Riyadh, Saudi Arabia will be 7 to the East Coast. Yeah.
But yeah, plenty of reasons to stick around and subscribe to NerdTube because it's the best social media channel that you maybe sort of kind of heard of. Catch you next time.